how your first thought affects every decision you make. Welcome back to ImpactIQ, where we dive deep into the quirks of the human mind and uncover what really drives our decisions. Today, we are diving into a truly fascinating psychological phenomena, how your first very thought can shape every decision you make. Ever wondered why those initial impressions seems to stick with you and influence your choices throughout the day? Whether it's picking a new outfit, choosing a restaurant, or even making big life decisions, your first impression can set the stage for all that follows. Join us as we unravel this intriguing aspect of cognitive psychology and explore how your initial thoughts impact everything from your daily choices to long-term decisions. We'll break down the science behind this effect and give you practical insights into how understanding it can help you make better decisions. If you're fascinated by the science behind decision-making and want to dive deeper into how our mind works, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. You won't want to miss any of our thought-provoking content that sheds light on the mysteries of human behavior. Thanks for tuning in this episode of ImpactIQ. So let's get started. Your first impression about something, whether it's a person, a product, or a situation, can significantly shape how you perceive and react to it later. This is known as the primacy effect, a cognitive bias where the initial information we receive heavily influences our subsequent judgments and decisions. For instance, if you meet someone and form an initial opinion based on their first few words of action, this impression often lingers and affects how you view them in the future. Similarly, your first encounter with a product or situation can set the tone for your future reactions and opinions. Understanding the primacy effect can help you recognize how early impressions impact your judgments and decisions, giving you insight into managing first impressions more effectively. Example number 1. Imagine walking into a store and being greeted by a friendly employee with a warm smile. This initial positive interaction sets a favorable tone for your entire shopping experience. Even if you encounter a less pleasant situation later on, your first impression might still influence you to view the store more positively. Example number 2. Consider a job interview. If your first impression of the interviewer is negative, it might color your perception of the entire interview process, regardless of how well you perform. You might unconsciously focus on minor flaws or negatives, which can affect your overall experience and outcome. The halo effect is a related concept where your overall impression of someone or something influences how you perceive their individual traits or qualities. Essentially, if you have a positive first impression, you're more likely to view everything associated with that person or thing positively, and vice versa. Example number 3. Think about a celebrity endorsement. If a celebrity you admire endorses a product, you're more likely to perceive that product positively and be more inclined to buy it. Based on your favorable opinion of the celebrity, this halo effect can greatly influence consumer behavior and brand perception. Once you have formed a first impression or thought, confirmation bias kicks in. This is where you actively seek out information that confirms your initial belief and ignore or dismiss contradictory evidence. Example number 4. Suppose you have a negative first impression of a restaurant based on an online review. Even if your actual experience at the restaurant is decent, you might focus on any minor issues and overlook positive aspects, reinforcing your initial negative impression. Your first thought can also affect decision-making in more complex scenarios. For instance, in negotiations or strategic planning, your initial perception can set the tone for the entire process. Example number 5. Imagine you're considering buying a house. Your first impression of the property's exterior, neighborhood, and initial layout might heavily influence your decision. Even if you later discover some issues during the inspection, your positive or negative initial impression might skew your overall evaluation and decision-making processes. In social interactions, your first impression can shape your entire relationship with someone. This is particularly evident in how you perceive people's character and intentions based on your initial interactions. Example number 6. If you meet someone at a party and they come across as charming and confident, you're likely to view their actions and words more favorably throughout the evening. Conversely, a poor first impression might make you wary of them, even if they later show positive qualities. Marketers are keenly aware of the power of first impressions and often design their strategies to capitalize on this effect. From sleek packaging and attractive advertisements to initial free offers, the goal is to create a strong, positive impression that sticks with consumers. Example number 7. Think about how tech companies often launch their product with high-profile events and flashy advertisements. The aim is to create a powerful initial impression that can influence consumer opinions and drive sales. The more impressive the first impression, the more likely consumers are to overlook potential drawbacks and focus on the positive aspects. When your initial impression is confronted with new information, you might experience cognitive dissonance, a psychological discomfort that arises from holding conflicting beliefs or attitudes. This feeling of unease occurs because your mind struggles to reconcile the discrepancy between your initial thoughts and the new contradictory information. To reduce the discomfort, you might engage in rationalization or justification to defend your original decision. For example, if you initially believed that a particular brand was high quality but later discovered that the brand has significant environmental issues, you might downplay or rationalize these concerns. You might tell yourself that the brand's quality outweighs its environmental impact or the issues are minor compared to the benefits of the product. This rationalization helps to maintain internal consistency and alleviate the psychological tension caused by conflicting information. It allows you to stick with your original positive impression despite the new evidence that challenges it. Understanding cognitive dissonance can also help you become more aware of how you handle conflicting information and encourage you to seek a balanced perspective rather than justifying initial impressions. Understanding the impact of the first impression can help you make more balanced decisions. Here are a few strategies. Before making a decision based on your first impression, take a moment to gather more information and consider alternative perspectives. Consult with others who have different viewpoints or experiences. Their insights can help counterbalance your initial impressions and provide a more rounded perspective. Recognize when your first thoughts might be influencing your decisions and try to approach situations with an open mind. So there you have it. Your first thought can have a profound impact on your perceptions and decisions, shaping everything from initial impressions and the halo effect to how marketers cleverly use these biases to their advantage. Being aware of how your initial impressions influence your judgment can empower you to make more informed and balanced decisions in all aspects of your life. Recognizing the power of the first impression allows you to approach situations with a clearer perspective and avoid letting early biases unduly sway your choices. What's your experience with first impression? Have you ever found yourself swayed by an initial thought or impression, whether positively or negatively? Share your stories in the comments below and let us know how this insight might change the way you approach your decisions. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the psychology behind the first impressions, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Stay tuned for more thought-provoking content from ImpactIQ. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.